Welcome back to my journey with multiple sclerosis. This is part 3. So, where we last left off, the timeline is August 2012. I had been on beta-seron for 4 or 5 months already. This was supposed to be slowing down the disease from progressing. And I began noticing at work my walking was getting really weak. My balance, I was like instantly fatigued. I felt like the day when I first went to the hospital back in January of 2012. So I made an emergency appointment with a new neurologist because I was fed up with the one I had at the time. I found a neurologist. We lived close to Humble, Texas, so I found a neurologist there. He was an older gentleman. He was not receptive at all of hearing me out, but my insurance at the time, there weren't many neurologists in network. So I had to go to him. And I explained to him what's happening. I was like, I feel like back in January when I went to the hospital, like I think I'm having a relapse. I can't walk. And I know in the hospital, they gave me high-dose steroids to get me walking again. What do I need to do? And he was like, I can prescribe you like a steroid dose that might help. So he literally wrote me a prescription for a Medrol pack. Those little packs of like a 6-day tiny dose of Medrol. I was like, sir, this is not what they did in the hospital. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. I got worse. It did nothing. So I called him and I went back in to the office and I was like, I literally can't walk. What do I do? I know what I need. I got it in the hospital and it worked. I know what I need. I need that Medrol that they gave me. His answer was, well, you can go and get yourself admitted through the ER and go back to the hospital and they can give it to you there. I was like, sir, do you know how expensive that is? We're not all living on a doctor's salary. Like, are there any other options? Like, are there any other like clinics that I can just go to once a day and get this IV done? Or like, what are the options? And he was like, that's it. He's like, if you want that Medrol, go check yourself into the hospital. I was like, that can't be it. Why is that all you're telling me? He sent me on my way. I went home and cried. When I tell you this disease put me through depression for years, yeah. I went home and cried because I was like, this can't be life. This can't be what life is reduced to. Like, are you serious? So then, mind you, I'm trying to still go to work, but I'm at the point where I can't now. So I had to go on leave from work. I get a call the next day from the doctor who told me, well, there is an option where I can prescribe the Medrol to you and an at-home nurse can come and she'll get you set up. She'll put like a catheter in your arm and we'll mail you the doses and you're gonna have to do it yourself. Do you want to do that or do you want to go to the hospital? And I was like, how much is that? And it was significantly cheaper with my insurance. I was like, I want to do that. And why wouldn't you have told me that from the get-go? How did you magically just find out about this? So he set me up, and the nurse came out like a day or two later. Sweetest woman I've ever worked with at that point as far as medically goes. She hung out with me like the whole day. She put the catheter in my arm. We watched some TV. We just gossiped, waited around till the medicine arrived, and she taught me what to do. She even put the first one on, like hooked it up and taught me how to administer it. It would take like an hour to flush through the IV, and then I could take it off and then clean the IV out, and I would do that for 5 days. Cut to about a week later, I was back. Like I knew I would. And I had to do a follow-up appointment with that doctor. And I went in and I told him, look, I'm walking, I'm doing so much better. That's literally all it took. And you wanted to argue with me. Almost holding that ransom from me. How dare you? So this will be our last visit. Because I deserve better. I'm not doing this. I'm not putting up with this. So I walked out of there. And I, at this point, I felt defeated because this was like the second or third neurologist at this point who just kept letting me down. So I left, and I decided to do a deep dive and do some research of my own. And for the next few years, that's all I did was research this disease and find alternative methods for treatment. And I quit going to the neurologist. Was that the best idea? Well, that's going to be in part 4 where we discuss that. And I hope you're staying tuned, and I'll catch you in the next one.